Hello and welcome to Ode to Games. I'm Kevin Valleen, joined alongside both Logan Plain and Zach Ross in the same place. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
We're good.
Yeah, we're here together.
Not used to this.
We're seeing Rocky 4, the extended edition, in theaters on the 11th, one night only. Rocky is one of both of our favorite movie franchises, so we had to go see it together.
Is that like a big release, or is it very select theaters?
It's pretty select. It's only in Regals, but I mean, Spokane's not the biggest place, and it's got one. So I feel like it's coming to most places, but only to there's what, 3 movie theaters here, and it's only coming to one of them.
Yeah.
The one that
it's one day
Stallone
only.
Picked.
Yeah.
And picked.
Hand selected.
Yep. All right. This isn't a movie podcast. We're not talking about Scoob this week. We're talking about games, specifically new games. We got another new game out very recently. Forza Horizon 5 is out for all the Xbox family of consoles. I've played the third one. You guys played the fourth one when it was out, and now you guys have played the fifth one. How is it holding up? The reviews are pretty glowing.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I haven't actually had a chance to play it. Logan's the one who's had a chance to play it. I know.
You have an Xbox.
It took like an hour to download.
This is the one reason to have the Xbox until Halo comes out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. It's interesting. I mean, I've played like 2 hours so far, and it is extremely similar to Horizon 4, which is not a bad thing because Horizon 4 is great. I think it's interesting how much better the reviews are because Horizon 4 reviewed very well, but then this one's reviewing off the charts, and I'm like, it feels pretty much the same to me. Like even the menus are the same, a lot of the voiceover is the same, but it's a gorgeous game. It's the best looking game I've played on my Xbox so far. You can choose between visual and performance, like always. I don't know why you'd pick visual for a racing game. I feel like you need the 60 frames per second in a racer.
You're always moving too fast to see things.
It looks great. The cars look really awesome. Yeah, it's pretty much set up the same way. You've got all these different choices for racing, off-road, street racing, cross-country. When you do more of one, you unlock more of that same kind, icons across the map. It's pretty open. One thing I'm noticing that's a little more generous than 4 is it gives you cars left and right. Like you start off with like a Ford Bronco, a Porsche, and another one I'm forgetting. Just some really good, like already like B or A rated stuff. And then after every race so far, I've been unlocking a new car to the garage. I already have like 15 cars. A lot of the time at the beginning, it seems like you're getting cars. It's extremely generous. Maybe because that's just because there's so many cars here. There's like more cars than ever. So you gotta unlock them at a pretty fast clip to get them all. But yeah, the world is beautiful. It feels really good. But it to me, it basically just feels like Horizon 4 in a different place, but I mean, if it ain't broke, right? So it's really good so far.
Yeah, I guess that is probably the biggest difference between games is the location that it's in. And I really liked Australia in 3. I know you guys liked Britain in 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how does the map compare to Forza?
Yeah, where is it at?
4?
To Mexico. And it is huge. It is enormous. I have not even. Yeah. I haven't even come close to seeing all of it yet. But yeah, I really like it so far. One thing that I actually like more, I don't know what 3 was like. I only played the main campaign of 4, which Zach and I both finished in the last week to get ready for 5. But you had to do races to qualify for like the showcase missions. And then the showcase missions in 4 were like outrun this like boat. Like you're racing a boat and doing this crazy stuff. But they're all kind of similar. They're all races in 4. But in 5, the first showcase mission I did was you go to like these abandoned ruins and it turns into this little open level area. And it's like, take a picture of the gold statue, take a picture of this tree. So you can just like cruise around this area looking for things. And there's collectibles like XP boosts and fast travel discounts, which is interesting.
I still don't understand how those work. They're in Forza Horizon 3 as well. I didn't know if it like if the fast travel got cheaper, but I never use fast travel.
Yeah, I don't use it either because it's fun to just drive across the map. But I really like that mission just because it had all these optional objectives. I could just have driven through this abandoned area, but it was fun to cruise around it and drive up these bridges and off these walls and stuff. So yeah, it's cool. I'm excited to play with Zach. We never played 4 together, even though we both had it installed, and it looks like a really fun game to cruise around in with friends and do races together. So I think I'll leave this one installed longer than 4 was. I just had to axe 4 to make room for 5, and there wasn't really reason to keep.
You only got space for a couple of games on there. Did you go up to the volcano yet? That seemed like the most interesting new area.
It starts at the volcano.
Okay. Oh. Is it one of those things like
mission.
Forza Horizon 3, the Blizzard Mountain, the mission was to like drive down the mountain? Is it like that?
That's how the game opens.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was a good opening for the DLC. I'm sure it's a good opening for 5 too.
It's funny because it just feels like it's following the exact formula of 4, which is not an insult. Like, I don't mind because I didn't get burned out on 4 or anything, but it's like in 4 it opens, the big thing in Forza Horizon 4 is the different seasons, and it opens with like you do a quick race in all 4 seasons at the intro of the game. And this one is like you drop out of an airplane in your Ford Bronco and you drive down this volcano, and then it just warps you to like your Porsche doing a street race, and then it goes to this other car doing like a cross country thing, and it's like the exact same. Like in the first 5 minutes you're trying out like all 4 different styles of racing. And it is a really cool way to get you into it, to kind of give you a taste of all the types of driving. But yeah, starting on the volcano is really cool.
Yeah, that looked the most interesting to me out of the stuff that they were showing. It's just like high altitude stuff and racing off that. Yeah, you think it deserves the reviews that it's getting?
Yeah, I mean it's really, I like how customizable the whole thing is. And both of you guys, I don't know if you felt this way with the ones you've played, but like you can really just play them however you want. You can pick the types of races you want to do. You don't even have to race. You can just drive around and try and get skill points for doing crazy stuff. You can drive off the road, drive on the road. It doesn't matter. All the difficulty settings are really amazing too, and the accessibility. And you can make it a sim like Forza Motorsport if you want, or you can just make it an arcadey kart racer if you want. So I do think all that's really cool. I'm just not super into this genre, so I don't really know how much better it is than other ones in the genre. I don't really play these games, but I really like it.
How's the performance on Series S?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really good. It looks noticeably better than 4, which was already a gorgeous game.
That's good. Have you done they've got like the sandstorms or whatever? Have you run into any of the like desert storms yet?
I've seen hazards.
Yeah, I've seen one on the map, but I haven't gone to it yet. So nothing like that happened to me.
So I wonder, like, if the races like go through that, like if there's some that are just sitting there. It's like, well, I can't see anything. But yeah. All right, it sounds good. I want to play it.
Yeah.
But no Xbox, and I don't think
play it on PC.
I don't really trust my PC to run it.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 3 is a little older than Forza Horizon 5
game
is.
To run on PC. Yeah.
I've heard the Xbox One version is okay. It's not nearly as good as the next gen.
It's on Xbox One?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I wonder how much longer they're going to be doing that.
I don't know.
I mean, Sony's out for another, what, half a year to a year?
While, yeah.
Like, Xbox is a lot more open about that because they've got just, I mean, on the game boxes and stuff, it just says Xbox. So I feel like they're very much pushing that it works on everything. But at a certain point, it's not going to work on the Xbox One anymore, especially if you got the VCR.
Yeah. It was just super cool, though. Like, I know Zach and I have championed Game Pass since we've gotten it, but I would have never bought this game on day one. I just wouldn't have. I would have never even crossed my mind to pay $60 or $70 for this. Like Gran Turismo, I'm not buying that on PS5. But this, I was like, I played it the minute it came out at 9 p.m. because it was just ready to go. And so that was super cool. And like 4.5 million people have already played it on Xbox consoles. That's pretty good for the first weekend.
Give people a reason to pick up a Series S or X if they're actually able to.
Yeah.
Because this is one of like the first real high-profile Xbox releases. I mean, obviously it's out on Xbox One, but I feel like most people who are playing it are probably going to want to play it on a Series console or PC.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. I guess Psychonauts was the other one.
Psychonauts, yeah, I guess was another one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
Not a whole lot. Yeah.
Soon.
Really soon.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that here. Any other thoughts on Forza Horizon 5? I'm sure we're gonna have more when Zach starts playing it, and over the course of the next week or two, have some more thoughts on it. Anything else you want to highlight from Horizon 5 so far in the first couple hours?
No, I'm excited for multiplayer. Like I said, it looks really hop into stuff together. So I think, yeah, we'll just talk about that next week.
Nice. All right. Yeah, so we're going to go right into the Ode 2 this week because we have reached the 1-year anniversary of the launch of the Xbox Series consoles and the PS5 as this episode comes out. I don't know about you guys.
Like
yeah, it really doesn't feel like it for me because I just don't see them anywhere. And like even now, the times, especially around here where I'm at, the times in between restocks have gotten like longer. So like I won't hear anything about it for like several weeks, and sometimes I just like forget about it. It just doesn't feel like the consoles are out sometimes. I'm sure it feels a little bit different since, Logan, you've got both a PS5 and a Series S, and Zach, you also have a Series S, but do you guys feel that as well? That it part of it doesn't feel like the generation has really started in a way?
Yeah, especially since the Series S is kind of like it's not the Series X, it's the bit of the lesser powerful, cheaper edition of the console, so it doesn't really have that next-gen power, per se, that the Series X has, and then the PS5, of course, is something that I've been wanting for a long time. Fine, so it just, it doesn't feel like the generation has really started because they are not even...
Yeah, it's interesting that I was thinking about the 1-year mark, and that I was all in on PS5 over Xbox a year ago, but I look at both now, and I've preferred playing on my Xbox since I've gotten it a few months ago, just because of Game Pass, and it's just been really easy to play there. And on PS5, there hasn't been much new stuff that I've played that was exclusive to it that I couldn't have just played on PS4. So I'm glad I got one because I don't have to worry about it anytime down the line. And I've really enjoyed something. Astro's Playroom was amazing, and that's something that I only got to play on PS5. But other than that, the PS5, I see people saying it had an amazing first year. And I'm like, maybe I just didn't really care about the games, because it did have some stuff. Like,
I think it had more
games here
than some consoles did on their first year. Like, I
didn't
didn't list like the first year of the PS4 and the Xbox One, but I think the first years of those consoles were not great in terwith the games.
I think the PS3 had a rough first year as well.
So I think that there's more on here, but I think maybe it's a thing of like with Game Pass, there is always this huge library of stuff to play, whether it's something that just came out or it's something that's been on there for a while. Whereas with PS5, especially with games now costing $70, you pick and choose what you want to play. And with Sony's model of like big blockbuster games, you're going to have one big blockbuster game, and then there's probably going to be a lull because they have to make the next one. They only have so many studios. So it's probably not as consistent of playing for the PS5 as compared to if you have an Xbox and have Game Pass on it.
Yeah, and there was stuff that people really liked. I guess, is Intergrade on PS4? Or is it?
No,
it's PS5 only.
PS5 only.
I had to play it with you.
Yeah, that's right. So that's something that we liked. The Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is on both the DLC.
Although PS5 has some exclusive features.
Yeah, I guess the main exclusive have been Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, Deathloop, Demon Souls, and Astro's Playroom. Those have been the big...
That's a pretty decent crop of games for exclusive only, especially when you compare it to Xbox's lineup if you're just going off of new games.
Yeah, for sure. And Ratchet and Clank that's something I wouldn't pay $70 for, but I do want to play it at some point. So yeah, there was good stuff there. I guess I just can't help but my frame of reference is the Switch's first year, which is like one of the best years any console has ever had. Not just its first year, like any console ever. The Switch's first year was unbelievable. So I guess it's just hard to feel like we didn't get a Super Mario Odyssey or a Breath of the Wild on PS5 this year. And it hurts that it's November and the big fall game is the GTA remaster trilogy. Like, what is it?
Nothing? I mean, the next big thing on the horizon would be Horizon, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it, and for a couple of months. Like, there's not really anything for the rest of the year. It's really that big that I can think of that is from Sony themselves or PS5 exclusive or something like that. And Horizon's not even PS5 exclusive. Still wonder how many people are going to play that on PS4. Put together a list here of some of the bigger games to come out on PS5 and Xbox Series. These are mainly games that not third-party Sony or Microsoft games. Some of these are multi-platform. With Xbox, basically everything's multi-platform, at least for now. But for Sony, you've got Astro's Playroom, Deathloop, Demon's Souls, Intergrade, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank: A Rift Apart, Returnal, and Sackboy. And with Xbox, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Forza Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2, The Medium, and I put Game Pass on here because the list looks... Yeah. If you take Game Pass out of the equation, that list is not good. There's not a whole lot going on there. Some good games in there, of course. Psychonauts 2 I've heard is fantastic. Forza Horizon 5, of course. Flight Simulator. But, yeah, not a whole lot to choose from. But as soon as you add in Game Pass, it's a game changer. And you're going to have access to all the new games that are going to be coming out soon that are from Microsoft.
Yeah, and Halo Infinite. I think you could squeak it in as the first year. It's so close.
They tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried really hard.
Yeah. And then should Deathloop be under Xbox ?
Not right. Not the first year. It's not there yet.
Not at the moment.
Eventually, it will be
an Xbox published game. On
it'll be there eventually.
Soon enough.
But yeah, if you look at it just from that, PlayStation had the better year, I think, by far in terms of games. But I think Xbox set themselves up better for the future in terms of you already have Game Pass and you know that there's a lot of bigger games coming out soon that will be available day one on Game Pass as well. I think that in the future, Xbox has a much better sell than PlayStation does if you're not looking at just a couple of exclusives.
What did you guys think of, I don't know if you guys saw this, that Forza Horizon came out for people who bought it on Friday and then on Game Pass on Tuesday? I thought that was interesting. I hadn't really seen them do that before, and I don't think it's the worst thing to give a weekend of early access to people who buy it, but some people were upset about it, that it wasn't day one Game Pass. I'm like, it's not a big deal.
I understand that completely. I'm not paying for this game. I don't blame them for giving it like a weekend of people who want to actually buy the game and afford it.
And it was just the base version. It wasn't like, because some companies do like the digital deluxe edition, like EA does that, where it's like 3 days early if you buy the special version.
Sega does that now.
Yeah, that too. If you get the digital version, yeah.
I think it was just the basic one.
Yeah, if it's a couple of days, I guess it really doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things. But at the same token of that, they do hype up that it's like day one for Game Pass, and that could get a little bit muddy if none of these games actually come out day one on Game Pass. Like day 4, like you're kind of splitting hairs there, but at the same time, it's so ingrained in the marketing that it's just like day one Game Pass that could get a little fuzzy, I think.
I know some people are just huge Forza fans and wanted to play it this last weekend. But for me, I was seeing people over the weekend playing it, and I'm like, man, drop $60 to play like 3 days early? I want to pay nothing on Tuesday. Like I'm just surprised that people would choose to pick it up because of that. But I don't know. I guess if it was like a Zelda or something, I would probably pay to play it early like that.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a bad move. If it's like launch week on Game Pass, I don't know if that's the worst thing. But yeah, their commercials do say play it day one on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, a little weird on that. Yeah. I also want to talk about the features a little bit. So for PlayStation, I think the biggest one would be the DualSense and the extra features that they pack into that controller. With Xbox, I don't know, smart delivery would probably be the biggest feature, because the rest of it, like the controller's the same. Like there's nothing too crazy, but smart delivery is a nice feature to have.
Quick resume.
Quick resume.
There we go. Forgot about that. Yeah, so
talk about it, Zach. How do you like it?
Yeah, for you guys, the features for each console, and if they are still like a big deal to you now, a year in, or is it something that is like, it's nice to have, but it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, this being my first Xbox, a lot of everything's new to me in terms of user interface, all that kind of stuff. But having quick resume for the first time, I have found is a very convenient new feature that I love and still cherish having this Xbox for a while. Just being able to turn the Xbox off, go do whatever you're going to do, come back, turn it on, and then load up the game and be immediately where you are, no matter the game. Like, even if it's Forza Horizon, like a massive game that takes a lot of power to run, you can just go right back into it. And that was especially great when I was playing Forza Horizon, because I wouldn't have to load up the game and I would just be able to just boot it up and get back into the middle of a race if I wanted to. Like, I could just leave forever and then it would stay there for me, which was a fantastic feature. So I'm a little spoiled on that now. I'm too impatient for loading screens now. It's really spoiled me on that.
Yeah, it's quick resume is total game changer. It's something that I first noticed with the Switch, how nice it is to just put the console to sleep and then just turn it back on wherever. But with quick resume, you can have like 5 games or more going at a time.
That's crazy.
And I actually had a moment earlier today where I felt like I was part of an Xbox commercial, because I was going to play NHL 22, which you guys have been playing. I was going to play an online match with my dad, and he was like 10 minutes late, and I was already in NHL, and I just swapped over to Forza, and I did like 2 races, and then he called me, and I'm like, okay, swap back to hockey, and I was already just in the just hopping back and forth between those it's amazing, and I don't think it'll ever get old. I desperately wish that PS5 had it, because there are a lot of Returnal that would have been huge for Returnal before the update came out, and there were other examples I could think of too, where I'm like, man, if I just had quick resume right now, like if I'm playing a single player game, Zach calls and he's like, let's play Fall Guys, you can just hop right in, but it's just not a thing. So yeah, quick resume is big, and when I look at the PS5, I think I mentioned this like on the first episode I had it on. I was worried that I was going to get tired of the DualSense stuff. I'm already over it. I am already over the haptic feedback specifically.
Yeah.
I liked it in Astrobot because it was done really intentionally and it was done really well. Just the sound effects it made, how it felt, it was awesome. I played it this last week just to see if I still felt that way, and I did. But when it's in games not implemented as wisely, you really notice it. Example, Final Fantasy XIV, the haptic feedback clicks with every step your character takes. No matter if you're walking or running, you're just running around the world and it's just like tick, tick, tick in your hand. And I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want it right now. It does nothing for me. It's not immersive. It's just annoying. I know I'm not actually running around this world. I know I'm moving a control stick and moving a character. I don't need to feel that in my hand. So yeah, that stuff is annoying. The triggers are still cool and how they adjust depending what you do, but it's mostly the haptic feedback that I'm totally over at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. What other standout features? I think that's it.
The cards. There were the cards that suck.
The cards.
There were I haven't used the activity cards one time.
Yeah. What I forgot. What were those even about? I forgot.
It was supposed to be like if you're in the middle of a trophy run, like it's like, oh, beat this level in Astrobot in this amount of time. You can click on that card and the game will load you in right at that point. I've done that 0 times. I did it on the first day it came out to try it out, and 0 times since then. Because again, it's the thing where like for the launch games and for Sony published games, they put in a lot of effort into the activity cards. But for other games, it's like it just clutters the screen when you hit the PlayStation button. So yeah, I mean, that's not good either.
I kind of think about that as like the Wii or Wii U, where you've got Nintendo published games that for the most part, tried to implement the motion controls or the tablet, and sometimes it doesn't work, but a lot of the time that's the best implementation you're going to get. But if you get to a lot of other stuff, it just doesn't work. So
yeah,
guess kind of like that they don't pay as much attention to that or try to make it as much of an experience as Sony does, trying to use all of their extra features.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it seems like Xbox is just more quality of life, which I think is better in the long run. Like you get PlayStation on day one and you're like, wow, the controller's really cool. And then you get used to that. But I don't know, the quality of life stuff is the things that don't necessarily get old. Like they become like part of how it works, but it's just always nice and it never always fades into the background.
Because there's like quick resume will never be annoying. It will never be annoying that you have.
Yeah.
But the rumble can be annoying depending on certain uses. Or like the Switch. the first time you take it out of the dock and it flips instantly, that has never gotten old.
Right, yeah.
Like, just how fast and snappy that is, it's insane.
Yeah, or just having the ability to take it in handheld mode and put it back in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that stuff doesn't necessarily get old.
Yeah, features over gimmicks. I feel like the PS5's gimmicks have already worn off. And the controller battery life, I was telling Zach about, terrible. It might be worse than the PS4. I feel like I have to charge
PS4
and
was
swap.
already bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really bad on the PS5 already.
Just like utilizing all those features, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just the stupid light that's still on the entire time you're playing. Just turn it off if I can get 2 more hours.
Yeah, you don't need the light. I'd rather have the extra hours of battery life than just the light.
Yeah.
And then lastly, got to talk about the scarcity. We were talking about that before in terms of how it doesn't really feel like these consoles have been out a year. It almost feels like a soft launch for these consoles because it feels like a lot of people just can't get into their hands. But yeah, I guess Logan has had both consoles, so you lucked out a little bit on there. But for me and Zach, the process of trying to find these things, Zach, what has that been for you, having one of the consoles but looking for the other one? How's that played into this first year of the new generation?
The Series S over time became the easiest of the 3 or 4, if you include the non-disc PS4, to find.
PS5. Yeah.
PS5. So when I did decide to purchase it, it had been up for at least 15 minutes. So it was easy to see it, think about it, decide to purchase it, and purchase it, which is something that I need to do in order to purchase one of these things in the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm very indecisive. And that has never been the case for a PS5 in the last year. And if a PS5 was easily accessible, I'd have one right now. I'm not just going to wait for it to go up and then be gone in 2 minutes and try to get it in that 2 minutes. Not
or 2 seconds.
Or 2 seconds
depending
or whatever
on the drop.
Like, Logan did his best for a while. They're sending me, like, it's up, it's up, it's up. It never worked out. I just don't think it would. But yeah, if I ever saw it on a store shelf or anything like that, I'd have one right now, and I'd be able to play Deathloop, but I can't. That's sad. But I understand that scalpers are a problem, chip shortages are a problem. There's a lot of things not aiding the creation of these PS5s. I get that, but it is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, there was another news story that just came out that I think Sony had to pare back their estimates for how many consoles they were going to produce for like the next year.
Nintendo did too. Yeah.
So if people had any hope that this was going to get better in 2022, it probably isn't. Like, the best case scenario at this point is by the end of next year, maybe. Which is crazy to think that we're already a year in. Like I talked about it before, how with the Switch, it was hard to find in the first like couple of months. But by the time summer rolled around of that year of 2017, if you just went to a store and like lined up, it wasn't too bad to pick one up. But we're a year in. It's been absolutely awful to try and buy one, and there's no end in sight. I think that's the bigger issue here. If it was the first year, but the light was, you could see the light at the end of the tunnel, like, okay, spring of next year, it should be easy to find one. We don't even have an idea of when it could get better. We could be this time next year and still not have a really concrete idea of when it'll be easier to get. And that's crazy.
Yeah, especially when this kind of the first half of 2022 is looking like the end of support for last gen. So it's going to be a bigger problem when these big exclusives start to hit in the fall of next year, and millions of people who would happily spend $70 on whatever the big PS5 game is in the fall just won't be able to. So I think that's where it's going to turn into a bigger issue, because right now it's like, oh, I really want to play the nicer looking and running version of this, but I can still play it. But that's not going to be the case much longer.
Yeah, and yeah, we're going to get into that point where those games are coming out and these consoles will still be hard to get. And I feel like that's going to be when it's really bad. Yeah. So, Logan, question for you: 1 year in, PS5 or Xbox, PlayStation or Xbox, by the end of the generation, PlayStation or Xbox?
Ooh, 1 year in, I think I prefer the Xbox right now. If I had to recommend someone to buy one, probably the Xbox, just because a Series S. Well, I don't know. I think a Series S is a great companion to the PS5. I think if you're just gonna get the Xbox, go with the X, the more storage and discs and all that. But yeah, just Game Pass is as awesome as we'd hoped it would be, and it's super fun to just be able to try this stuff out. My PS5, I feel like I was a little hard on the PS5. There are, I guess, some other things that I already take for granted sitting here thinking about that are really nice. The load times, unbelievable. We played Final Fantasy 14. Zach walks into a new area 5 seconds before me. I'm out 3 or 4 seconds before him. Like it is so fast and easy. The copy times are basically gone. You know, when you sit here and it copies from the disc and takes like an hour sometimes.
Yeah, forever.
The worst part.
Yeah, that is gone. It's way, way easier to say, oh, I want to play this game on my shelf. Because on PS4, it's like, oh, it's not installed, so I'll play something else. But on PS5, it's way easier to be like, I want to play this. I'll just install it real quick because it does not take nearly as long. So there are some quality of life features like that are good. By the end of the generation, depends on the games. I mean, we still don't know, I feel, what a lot of Sony studios are up to. We don't know what Naughty Dog's going to look like here. We don't know how good Halo Infinite's going to be. So I guess it depends on the game output. But I mean, I would lean PS5 because I like a lot of franchises that are PlayStation exclusive more. But I feel like Xbox is really back. I feel like this year was kind of a statement year for that. Not on the software yet, but we know that's coming. So yeah, I think you can't really go wrong with either one that you choose to pick up. I think they're both good. But my favorite games this year were all on Switch, though. Think about the best games I played this year. They were all Switch games.
Yeah, what's the best experience on either console, PS5 and Xbox, that you played?
Ooh. That's a good one. I really loved Astrobot, honestly. Just the feeling of booting up the PS5 and playing that was really, really cool. So that might be my pick so far.
Xbox? Doesn't have to be an exclusive, just your favorite game that you played on Xbox this year.
Forza. I'll say Horizon 5 already. Yeah, it's super cool. Like, Horizon 4, I didn't feel the drawback into play, and this one I do. Maybe just because it is new and looks a little nicer. But, yeah, it's the real deal. Horizon 5 is the real deal. It's super good.
Zach, are you Xbox boy now?
I love my Series S. I will not lie. I've been a big fan of Game Pass, which I thought I would be. But I still want a PS5 for those exclusive, if nothing else.
Yeah, I think Sony will always have those exclusives, and that'll probably bring people
how
to
it is.
And maybe just the thing of like, yeah, I pop open my my PS5 when the new exclusive comes out, but the main
and then just
maybe
go over
is
to my
Xbox,
Xbox,
right? Like maybe that's how it's going to be at the end of the year. You're waiting for that next big exclusive, but when it's not there, if you have both consoles, you might be on the other one with Game Pass.
Seems like that's where Logan basically is.
Yeah.
Minus the Switch, which is his main.
Yeah. Right. But if you're comparing the two ones that came out last year.
Yeah.
Be that.
And I just look at what I have installed on Xbox, and it's overwhelming because there's so much I want to play that I just have not had time. Like Sunset Overdrive. I feel like I've been talking about that game for years. Yeah. It's sitting in front of me on my Xbox, and I still haven't been able to play it. There's that Dodgeball Academia.
Oh, I really want to play that.
It looks really cool. Mm-hmm. That's on Game Pass, and it's installed.
Was it
Nier Automata's on Game Pass?
Just came out that I really want to play. That's only on Xbox.
What's it called?
I guess Moonglow Bay, I think. It's
what
like
is
the
that?
Fishing and like rebuilding town thing.
I remember
little game.
That sounds like a Kevin game.
But if it was on Xbox, I'd probably be playing it now on Game Pass. Just have it there. But I don't. But
so does our Series S talking have you wanting to buy one at all?
I'm still not. I don't think I'm at the point where I would want to buy a digital only console. So if I was going to buy an Xbox, I'd buy a Series X. And my experience buying a PS5, I don't want to do that for two consoles. But I've always like throughout the first year and just seeing the games that are going to be coming out eventually and knowing that Game Pass is on there, I have a pretty good feeling that I'm going to have an Xbox by the end of the generation, which was not the case with last generation. Last generation, it was like, why would I ever buy an Xbox One? There was the only reason you would buy an Xbox One is because your friends are on there and that's how you play. If that's not the case, there was really no reason, and I didn't even think about it like ever. But now it's like, yeah, by the end of the generation, I'll probably have one. Hopefully when they get easier to buy.
And also with Game Pass, you can experience the best of the Xbox One generation that you skipped entirely.
Right.
Because I just scroll through Game Pass and it's like, well, I mean, Forza Horizon 4 is on there. Probably just skip that one at this point. But Halo 5, could play it. It's not that great, but it's there. Gears 5, which people really liked.
Gears, Sunset Overdrive, Rare Replay is on there.
Underrated, but it's there.
Yeah.
So anything that was actually good on Xbox One is there.
And to go back to like original Xbox, some of the games that I played as a kid and some of the ones that I never played. You know, there's
Fusion Frenzy's on Game Pass.
Fusion Frenzy 2 on Game Pass?
I think so, yeah.
God, no. No.
Is it bad?
Oh, it's terrible. Fusion Frenzy
Viva Pinata's on Game Pass?
Yeah. Yep. And it's multiple forms, I guess, because Rare Replay is also on there that I think includes it.
Same with the Banjo games. They're separate, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think by the end of the generation, I'll have both consoles, and I'll be curious how I feel at the end of the generation of, like, which one is my go-to. And I'll just be curious how the Xbox library shapes up. Because even now, it's been weak. It's been pretty weak, but I feel like they've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
I just don't know how long Game Pass can cost what it costs.
Yeah.
Because that just seems like a steal. Because it's like Forza this month, Halo next month. Game Pass almost just paid for itself for the entire year if I play both of those.
Yeah, and there's only so far that it can grow. Like I guess it helps for them that they also have it on PC, which opens it up a lot more. But yeah, you think you're trying to always expand the amount of games that you're doing, and that is always expanding. But I feel like Game Pass probably won't expand as fast to keep up with it over the next couple of years. But hopefully it stays that price at least for a while, and have those good like beginner deals, the $1 thing or whatever. Like those are huge to get people in.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Do you want to talk about the little bit of news that we got this week?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's move over to Nintendo because they had their big investors meeting, and the Switch has sold over 90 million units at this point. It's only 10 million away from what the Nintendo Wii sold. Other stuff from this thing is that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is now the best-selling Mario Kart, outselling Mario Kart Wii. They're both over 30 million at this point. And Nintendo, the internet had a field day with this one, that Nintendo said they're working on their next console.
Of course.
They're always working on their next console.
Yeah, especially now, because we know that it's going to be coming at least in the next 3-4 years.
Yep. Yeah, Switch Online has 32 million subscribers. They said they'll keep working to expand that.
Yeah.
And the Switch OLED sold some decent stuff too. And Miyamoto also said that they are potentially going to work on more Nintendo movies in the future. And the Metroid creator said that he'd love to see
Metroid would work pretty well, I think.
Yeah, so that's kind of the big stuff from it. But I mean, it's the same story as the last 10 times we've talked about this. Mario Kart keeps selling, and the Switch keeps selling.
It's not going to stop.
Never.
Yeah, just keeps rolling. It's going to pass the Wii easy. The Wii was on death's door at this point in its life, and the Switch just keeps on rolling. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Any predictions on where the Switch is going to end up? Past PS2?
I don't think so.
It's not going to pass the PS2.
125?
It still it would only be 2/3 of the way there almost now, because the PS2's like 155 million.
Yeah.
And that thing just lasted so long. Like
it lasted.
And then eventually, wasn't there a PS2 that was like $99? So it was like, here's a $99 DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PS2 is pretty special. I'm not sure if it'd take a really special console to beat the PS2. But I could see it being like
it's like second best, isn't
like
it?
DS is right below it.
or something like that.
No, I think it was like right behind it.
Okay.
It's like 150.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite. Is it 150? Is it that close?
I want to say it was. It sold crazy.
Yeah. It's really high.
In terms of a prediction for the Switch, maybe around like between 120 million and 130 million is probably where I'd peg it.
Yeah, DS was 154 million.
Oh my God.
So right behind
it is neck and neck.
Yeah, it's the Switch is insane. PlayStation 2 155. So yeah, almost the exact same.
Yeah, but it would take a special home console to do that. I think the handhelds, because they're cheaper and it's like a easier barrier of entry to get kids into it, and people are more inclined to buy more handhelds than they are the regular home console version.
You might have to replace it. Yeah.
And the Switch ticks some of those boxes. Handheld, some of the things kind of break easier. I don't know.
Yeah. My kickstand, I think I mentioned last week it was starting to go. It's completely gone.
Oh, it's gone?
It just hangs out the back. Like, I'm considering ripping it off because it's just doing nothing. Yeah. But I think, I know Nintendo likes to do their own thing and their weird thing, but I think it's time that they just go the PlayStation route and call the next console the Switch 2. I think it's just got to happen.
Yeah,
because I think that's just the brand now.
When you can't, I think it'd be a really bad decision to remove the feature of handheld and home console play, and the Switch, the name itself embodies that. So, yeah, I feel like if it's named something different, they'd be abandoning the Switch's core philosophy, which I think would be a real detriment to the next console.
And the Switch is still cool. The Wii was not cool 5 years in.
No.
It was ugly. It was like little kids play Wii and that's
grandparents.
Yeah.
And me.
And you. But when Wii U came out, I think the Wii was a super uncool brand, but I think the Switch is still pretty fresh, still pretty current. Like I still think of the Switch brand as really, really cool. Like I think the Switch is cool. Like I think the PlayStation next. So if the next thing was Switch 2, I don't think it's like, oh, we're ready to move on. I think it's like, no, that's good. I think that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Forever.
I definitely think they should stick with the Switch name for whatever comes next.
Switch U.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
God. Super Switch would work too.
New Switch.
But I just worry Super Switch. Super Switch just sounds a little too much like a half step.
Yeah, they really need to tell, like, especially after the Wii U debacle, they need to make it crystal clear that this is a new console and not just like a peripheral upgrade or just a performance boost and isn't like the next generation of consoles. They need to make it very clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in other handheld news, the Steam Deck was delayed 2 months. It was supposed to come out next month, and it's now delayed until February of 2022. So yeah, even for people who pre-ordered everything. Delayed. I still have no interest in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I rarely play Steam stuff, so. But I don't know, for people that play their Steam library a lot, just another way to play it. It also makes sense, though. I mean, especially with Nintendo coming out and being like, yeah, we have to reduce our sales forecast. Sony coming out and being like, yeah, we're not going to be able to produce as many PS5s as we want. It makes sense that Steam would have a similar problem, and you want to try and, at the very least with the launch of the console, make sure that you can deliver on the promises of the consoles that you had sold already with like the pre-orders and things. So it makes sense that they would push that back to try and make the launch as smooth as possible. But not a super long delay either, just a couple of months.
Yeah, just like Elden Ring is coming out in February now. Is that delayed a month? Yeah, it's the launch game for Elden Ring, or for the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Elden Ring, which apparently people really love. Impressions were coming out about that this week.
I saw that.
They always love them. I mean, all the Dark Souls and they like them all.
It's on the little Souls that I've played, all of Bloodborne and some of the first Dark Souls. I like it. I'd be interested. It looks gorgeous.
Looks like way more open world.
Yeah.
Than the other ones.
But there are people out there who would live or die by Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I am not one of those people.
Yeah.
Some people So people really into that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really into those Souls games.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it from Nintendo. I'd like to see a Metroid movie. I think that would be
live
cool.
action, animated. Chris Pratt, where are we looking?
Yeah,
I
what's
guess
Chris
my
Pratt
brain
next?
went live
He's
action.
Mario, he's Garfield. He can be anything.
Ridley.
Yeah.
Samus.
Anybody.
Just put him in the suit. You'll never know.
I thought live action, like my gut instinct.
Me too.
It's because I was thinking of Alien.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Metroid would probably be a good one to do live action. Make more sense than animated, I think.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, we'll talk about Sonic now. Our boy Sonic. New trademark from Sega for Sonic Frontiers. So the leakers who tried to like superimpose a word over the logo, they said Rangers. Yeah, that's pretty close.
It is.
It's got the R and then the N and then the R at the end. Frontiers, Rangers. So yeah, Sonic Frontiers could be the title of the next Sonic game, which is supposed to be coming out next year. And guys, I've been seeing some more leaks for this thing, and apparently it's gonna be open world Sonic.
Let's go.
God.
Get excited.
With Sonic Team's track record, oof.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Can't
broken.
wait for the jank. It's gonna be awesome.
Can you
I have a lot of
imagine the glitches that people could do in a open world Sonic game?
Yeah. It frightens me. They've also said that they want this game to have the same impact that Sonic Adventure had.
Yeah, they were talking about that, right?
Yeah, in kind of setting the stage for the next decade of Sonic.
What
Oh my
did
God.
Sonic Adventure set for the next decade? Sonic Adventure 2 and then just Sonic Heroes 06?
Heroes and 06 and Shadow all play that same way. It wasn't until Secret Ring. So it was like 8 years of
Quality
that style.
notwithstanding.
No quality dipping massively. Yeah. And then I guess Unleashed has been the new formula since it
the
came
boost
out.
formula, yeah.
Yeah. Then Lost World
It was
failed
and Boom
completely.
was its own thing. They kind of meander.
It just concerns me because I think about Forces and how they had 4 years to make that, and it was a pile of rushed garbage.
Of just mediocre, bland 2 hours.
Yeah. And
If it took...
it's an open world
They've been
game.
making that same Sonic game. Like, that plays exactly the same as Unleashed did and all the more recent games. It took them 4 years to make a 2-hour, safe Sonic game. What does that mean about an open world completely changing the design philosophies of Sonic and having that game out in a similar length of time?
We just passed Force's 4th birthday. 4 days ago.
That game had no impact.
4 years since Forces.
Yeah, and it was
Crazy.
3 years, 364 days, and 22 hours since most people last played.
Yeah, that was something. That first night when I brought it home after our radio show, and I went to bed because I didn't want to beat the game. I'm like, I'm not finishing this tonight. I'm on level 25. I think there's 30. I went to bed. It was so disheartening. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do a lot of jokes, though. Zach, what do you think of open world Sonic?
I'm optimistic.
Wow.
I think that this...
Where's that optimism coming from? What has Sonic Team done to provide you with the optimism?
Deserved optimism. I think that this is going to be a fresh start for Sonic, and that this game won't be broken. It'll be good, long, and features, and we're all going to play it together and love it.
Hopefully. Well, I know we'll all play it together and love it and have a great time.
Right.
I don't know if that means the game will be good.
Yeah,
No.
that could mean anything. That could mean the game's good, the game is mediocre, the game is garbage.
Horrible.
It's
Broken.
any of those.
Sad.
We'll still enjoy
And
it for some reason.
I don't know how I feel about this thought, but I think it's true. No matter how good a Sonic game is, the 5 million or whatever Sonic fans there are going to buy it. And if we enjoy the broken garbage, then is it okay if it's a little bit broken? I thought about that with No More Heroes. No More Heroes 3 was like, I feel like it was intentionally broken in some ways. The open world, just some other ways it was broken. Maybe that's just what Sonic is now. Maybe we need to stop ever hoping for it to be good, and we just know that when you get a Sonic game, it's a broken mess, and you have a great weekend with your friends.
I guess it depends on if they think that they can bring new people in. Because at a certain point, if you only have a group of Sonic fans that rarely ever changes, is just the same group of fans, at a certain point, that's not going to sustain it because you need to have new people to come in. You're always going to have some fans that fall off. Like, they're not fans forever. And you need to try and replace those and ideally try and grow it with new fans. And if the games are garbage every time, the amount of new people that are coming into Sonic is probably not that big.
So you need one good game a decade to pull the new folks in.
Right, exactly. And then they're there for the next decade, and they're like, man, this is garbage. I'm leaving. And then the next one's good, and then it brings them in for the next. Yeah. But you got to have the one good game. That's the key. If you don't have any good games, then I don't think it works.
Because here's the thing. Generations is an awesome time. But how many specific memories do you actually have of Generations? When you can probably name 5 moments of jank from every other 3D Sonic game. It's like, that's worth something.
I think it also depends on how you're playing it. I would not play these games by myself. Like, that is akin to torture in a lot of these games. But if I'm playing it with with friends and you guys are there and we're all just ragging on each other for screwing up at a certain weird point, or if the game just falls apart, it's fun. Yeah. But if you don't have a group of friends that you can enjoy Sonic with, why would you play these games? Except if you're like a diehard fan.
I guess that's me. Yep. I guess I'm the diehard.
If another Sonic 06 rolls around, are you playing that through to the end by yourself?
Sonic 26. Oh my god. If it's that little, I would probably play it and then be like, I'm waiting for Sonic Club.
Right, yeah. If you don't have that group, then it's just not...
Yeah. But I can't wait.
But
when I think about next year, I'm thinking about like Zelda, Splatoon. I keep forgetting that we're getting a new Sonic, and then I think about it. I'm like, oh god, we know nothing about it. We know absolutely nothing.
Probably gonna get delayed. We know that much.
Probably.
Oh, Forces! I can't believe that it'll be 5 full years since the last effort from Sonic Team. By the time this thing comes out.
Minimal effort.
Yeah.
It's like, did they sit down and have a hard conversation after Forces and be like, we need to reinvent this franchise? Or did they go take 4 years off again and then roll back into the office?
Like, oh god.
We need a name.
Put something together here.
Frontiers.
I don't know.
All right.
Sonic Frontiers.
Throw that in a trailer and we'll start working in a few months.
They didn't even announce the name. Like, that's just...
It was just in the next Sonic project or whatever.
Come up with a name, throw a rune in there, then we'll start working.
I hope it's good. I don't think it will be. And I know we'll love it, and we'll talk. Like, Forces it's 4 years later, and we're still talking. Yeah. So we're going to get some mileage.
It's going to get its... Yeah. We're going to do a whole show on it when it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
That has no bearing on whether or not the game is good.
No.
We'll talk for an hour if it's the greatest game of all time, and we're going to talk for an hour if it is the worst thing we have ever played.
I think that's Force's worst offense, is that it's neither. It's just a very mediocre game.
I don't know, though. Like, after playing all of those other Sonic games, it kind of felt nice to play through a game. Like, yeah, it was bland, and it had no impression. It was also like, man, some of those other games were painful. Like, some of those levels just don't work. And
I
Sonic Heroes playing through, like, all of the characters to get through to the final section. Like, there are just some baffling design decisions from the older games that weren't in Forces. So I appreciate it for that. But looking back on it now, yeah, I do remember those Sonic games for that garbage. Over Forces. Yep. I just remember Forces because it's like just short. Like it.
One sitting. It's a one sitting game.
Yeah.
Black Knight was one sitting.
Not even like a long sitting. Like sometimes it'd be like, oh yeah, you can blast through this if you just sit down for like a day. Beat it in like 8 to 10 hours. It's
like we started at like 8 o'clock and we're done before
morning.
Midnight. It's like
it's a morning game.
It's terrible. Yeah. Okay. So look forward to Sonic Frontiers.
Oh boy.
I don't mind the name. I like it more than Rangers. I did not like Rangers.
Just think of Pokemon Rangers.
Yeah.
If I hear Rangers.
It's a great game. Did you play it?
I did.
1?
I don't remember.
2?
The one where you spin the...
That's the whole series.
Okay.
That is
I
the
played one of them.
Series. I don't think it's Rangers without it.
I think it was the first one. They didn't say 1, 2, 3. They had like some...
First one had no
Then there's no chance of me.
Shadows of Olmia?
No.
It's number 2. It's great.
What was the first one called?
Pokemon Ranger.
Probably that one.
And then Guardian Signs. And then the franchise died.
Well, bye, Rangers.
Bring that back. Bring it back. Pokemon Frontiers.
They want me to scratch my Switch screen?
Don't do it. It's a trap.
It is a trap. Okay, speaking of Pokemon, it leaked. So be careful if you're out there and you don't want spoilers for a 15-year-old game.
I was seeing people complain, and I'm like, actually, I kind of want the leaks because I want to see what new Pokemon are like region specifics. Like,
yeah.
Or
to
like
dunking on it.
Figure out if Platinum's stuff is in there or not. Like, I welcome the leaks for this. But yeah.
People hate it already and they haven't played it yet.
Of course.
So, that's just the Pokemon fan base.
The Pokemon cycle is starting.
See how it is in a week and a half's time or whatever. It'll be out soon.
Yep, me too.
I think we're going to stop the news there for the week.
All right. Zach?
That's going to do it for our long list of news. So we'll move on to the list of games we've been playing this week. Some new stuff, some old stuff. Logan, anything other than Forza Horizon?
F-Zero.
F-Zero.
Lots of F-Zero.
Racing mood.
It's just just full racing.
F-Zero is great.
Gotta go fast.
Been playing on a CRT. It's been awesome. Looks great, feels great. Nothing new to say, except that the car that I picked, that I thought felt the best one, I looked up a tier list, and it is one of 2 cars in the S tier. So I picked correctly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, F-Zero GX. I'm trying to unlock the F-Zero AX tracks, the arcade one, because they're in there, but they're ridiculously hard to unlock. So I'm trying to get those, but it's a tough game. And then I played more Mario Party, which I still love. I still think it's great.
That's good.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Some Animal Crossing.
Yeah, why don't we talk about Animal Crossing? Played it for a bit. I popped it in, and as soon as I like went to the town hall and started like buying all of the stuff that was in the ATM machine, I was like, man, just quality of life and interface and everything is just not good. Of how I had to buy each one individually, and then I have to like back out, and then it's on my phone, and then I watch the thing go up on the phone, and it's like, I got it now, and then I go back in and buy another 10 items and just sit there for like 15 minutes just buying all of these. Was not great.
Animal Crossing was always slow paced and chatty, and it used to not matter until they made it where you can build your whole own town and customize everything, because now clicking through everything is absolutely miserable.
Also, after playing more Stardew Valley again recently, getting back into it, I am reminded of how not good the inventory system is in Animal Crossing New Horizons, in terms of like how things can only stack to like 10, which is ridiculous. When like Stardew Valley, you're just like, yeah, I got 999 over there, and you can pull out as many as you want. Whereas Animal Crossing, it's like, oh, do you want 1 or 5 or all of them? It's like, there's just these things after a while where it's like, how has this not been addressed? The crafting system, it's crazy that that's not addressed in there. Mm-hmm. Wild. Beyond that, I found Blathers, but he has to like build his thing on the museum, so I haven't actually gone
Brewster?
in there. Brewster, sorry, not yeah. Went to Blathers, talked to him, found Brewster, and then haven't seen him yet. The Harv's Island thing, a little disappointed that I couldn't just buy all of them in one day. You can only do 1 a day, so I'm like, well, I'm never doing that because I don't think I'm booting this game up 7 more times. Yeah, I think
so. It did not pull you back in.
It didn't. No. Yeah, I think booting it back up made me realize that I think my time with that game is done.
Officially over.
Yeah.
Did you find any gyroids?
I dug up one, but I didn't do
update?
anything after that. Like I didn't like water.
You have to
them or
plant it
anything.
and water it.
Yeah.
So you're not going back to water it. Yeah. You
No.
gotta go back the day after and pick it up.
Yeah, and it's like the farming thing. It's cool. I like farming a lot, but I don't know. I don't feel a point in doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've already got like a bunch of money, so it's not like buying new things or I don't know. Like with Stardew Valley, there's always something that you're working towards. And as soon as I booted up Animal Crossing, I'm like, I've got like, there's nothing that I really want to do.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have the farming when the game launched to work towards the goal of.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Setting up your town and making money for.
I mean, people are gonna have a field day with this. Like, the people who are like really into like interior design and having all of those new interior design features are gonna be cool. People are gonna make crazy stuff with the new things that are in there. But I'm not one of those players, and the new stuff didn't do enough to bring me back in, and it surely didn't make me think, man, I gotta go buy the DLC or I gotta go get Switch Online so I can get the DLC and not have to pay for it. Like. That thought didn't even cross my mind when I was playing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not. I might try out the DLC because my girlfriend's playing the DLC.
Yeah,
and she really likes it, and my sister's playing it and really likes it. So I've heard the DLC is really good. I've looked at it a little bit. It looks fun designing these houses. Yeah, it's basically like you get 3 items that have to be in the house, but otherwise it's totally up to you what it looks like and how you design it. So it looks cool. And there's like 48 different houses and buildings to design. So it looks worth the money if you're into Animal Crossing and want to get pulled back in. Yeah, I really like Cap'n. I'm glad he's back.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who takes you on the boat. I like his songs.
Was he supposed to take you to special islands? Because the island that I went to looked exactly the same as the other Nook Island. Like
the only difference is those are the only places.
I wish.
So if you need a guide ride, you have to go there.
I wish they were bigger or something. I don't know. Like those islands are so unbelievably bland now.
Yeah, but apparently you can get ones that are different seasons. Now I think the direct.
Yeah.
Which I thought you were always supposed to be able to do. Like I thought they said that when Animal Crossing.
Mine was the same season. I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, I was personally underwhelmed. I think there's a lot of cool stuff there, like you were saying, Kev. But I agree. I'm just done. I'm done with the game. I actually transferred the island to the Switch Lite, so my girlfriend could play whenever, even if I was using the primary Switch. So it's not even my island's not even on my.
Yeah.
It was a stressful transfer process because
God.
It's not just cloud saves. You have to download a separate app from the eShop.
Oh God.
To transfer the island.
It's so stupid.
You have to download it on both Switches. You have to like sign away your soul over here and then punch in like a password over here. And then pray that it makes it. And it did.
Well, that's good.
Made it.
It didn't just disappear into the ether and it's just like, well,
No.
There it goes.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, the DLC looks cool and I've seen a lot of people having fun with it. But there's just so much I want to play right now. I have so many consoles that I don't see myself being like, I'm going to sink another 60 hours into Animal Crossing. And if you're not going to go all in with Animal Crossing, there's like no point to going half in.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I'm done.
Yeah, I feel like
Zach hasn't even tried it.
I don't know if I'm going to. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
Not one of them.
Yeah, there is a lot more going on where I was just like, I was playing Animal Crossing. I'm like, man, I'd rather just be playing something else. Like one of the other games that I'm playing currently. I really only played it just to see if it would like rekindle anything. And it just didn't. I don't know. And I started doing a bit of the daily grind of just like going on the rocks and doing all that stuff. And I'm like, man, that means I'm going to have to craft a new tool every day to do this again. Oh God. Like it, I felt dread thinking about that. And it's the quality of life stuff that just never made it into the game. Like those items should last longer. The crafting system should be easier. Like if those things were in there, maybe I would give it some more time, but it's just, there are certain quality of life features that I really want that are just not there. And it really made going back kind of a pain.
Yeah, it's daunting. And then the weeds and the cockroaches and the villagers guilting you. It's like, It's like once you're out of Animal Crossing, it is like a breakup. You're done. You're never going back. It's not like a friend where you're like, oh, I haven't seen you. We'll hang out again sometime. It's like, nope, you're out of my life until the next Animal Crossing.
I was disappointed that they didn't give me a specific amount of months since I last went in. I remember the GameCube one. It's like, it's been 400 months because the GameCube clock got all messed up or something. It's just like, I want to know. I want to know how long I didn't care about you, villagers, and how much longer it's going to be afterwards. But at least like a year.
I honestly forgot that New Horizons had tool durability. And when you brought that up, it just made me angry.
Yeah.
When I think about that game, I just get angrier and angrier.
So in hindsight, do you guys think New Horizons is your favorite Animal or no?
City Folk.
City Folk isn't. There's a difference between favorite and the best one. I still think Animal Crossing New Horizons provides the best experience out of all of them. Like in terms of the amount of stuff that you can do and items available, especially now with the update that's out, if you're going in now, I think it is by far the best one that exists now. Is it my favorite? No. The original Animal Crossing would be my favorite, and then New Leaf would be a close second with how it allowed you to design the island. The only reason the GameCube one's first because I played that so much as a kid, and it has so much nostalgia and NES emulators.
Yeah, and you guys know I felt like New Horizons lacked some of the heart of the series. It felt like that got scrapped for just shoving all the customization stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't feel as personally connected to the villagers and the actual town as much as it's a very different kind of game than the other ones in the series. Like I kind of feel like New Leaf was the full realization of the entire series potential to that point. Like it had everything. And then New Horizons kind of taking it in a more customization focused, build your own direction.
Customize.
Yeah.
Which was really good too. And I think that this update adds some of that heart back, like bringing Cap'n back with the songs, bringing the Roost back, the Gyroids back. Like I think it adds a lot of that. It's just too late.
Yeah.
It's too late for me.
Yeah, a year and a half in, and I say this all, and I've put in over 100 hours into it. And there's not a ton of games that I put in 100 hours into. Yeah. So it was fun for what it was, but yeah, I think my time with that game is done. I may go back in one more time just to actually go in and see the Roost and do that. But beyond that, I don't think I'll ever really go back. Yeah. I guess
playing something I'm very excited about, though.
What?
You're playing something I'm very excited about, though.
That is true. I started Great Ace Attorney 2 after the last episode. If you listen to that, we were looking at, because we're coming up on the end of the year, which is a little scary that 2021 is over in a month and a half, but we're going to have to do our Game of the Year lists. And I realized that my Game of the Year, of games that came out this year, I've played like 2. So I'm like, all right, even if this is like an older game, technically the first time in English, so it counts. So I'm like, I need a game to add to this list along with, Brilliant Diamond when that comes out, to have some semblance of a list. So I wanted to get it done before the end of the year. So I'll probably be juggling it with Brilliant Diamond when it comes out because I don't think I'm going to beat it by then. But it's good. Yeah. I think it's already building on the first game in terms of the seeds that first game sowed in terms of its story and certain threads that haven't been completed yet. I can see that it's going to be growing a lot more than that first one did. Yeah, I've played through the first case and part of the second case, so I haven't gotten like full on into it. But from what I played, it seems to be going beyond what that first one did. And just building off of that, I'm excited to play more and see where the story plays out because there's a lot of unanswered questions, and they pose a lot of them at the end of the first game and right away at the start of the second game. Like they're hitting those hard. So I'm curious to see how that all plays out. But of course, can't say too much more because it's very story heavy. There's not much more I could say about it that I didn't already say with the first one in terms of like gameplay or anything like that. But it's good, and it's already starting to feel better than the first one.
The pacing, man. Just that first case alone. The first case is so snappy and it's so
and the fact that in the second case they have the let's stop the court and go out and do more investigation. I was like, oh, It's so nice.
Sweet relief.
Like a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been nice. So, been a little bit easier to get through. Some of those cases in the first game are just long because you're just doing the same thing over, like you're just in one section for like the entire thing and not a whole lot of variation. But yeah, been enjoying it a lot. Really want to get it done by the end of the year, so I'm gonna do my best.
Nice.
Zach,
Anything
what about
else?
you?
Oh,
That's it for me. Besides, of course, Stardew Valley. Always playing more of that in free time when I
Obviously.
don't want to play the other stuff.
I beat Forza Horizon 4,
Woo!
which we did briefly talk about. Now that had time with that. Didn't take very long.
No, it's short.
I don't remember. I think I put under 10 hours into it. All 4 seasons qualified for the show. But still, a beautiful game. Still chugging away at Halo 2 Legendary with my halfway done.
How's that going?
It's unfair at times. It's brutal for the difficulty, but we're getting it done. The levels are way longer than they used to be. The Flood did get more difficult. The Arbiter levels are easier than the Chief levels significantly for some reason, but yeah, we just beat level like 7 out of 12 or something like that. So the final stretch is going to be probably the most difficult part. So we might still give up. I don't know.
You got to make it through. You've already put in this much
time.
I know. You got to make it through.
It feels like we've gotten to give up. We might hit a point where we don't feel that way anymore. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But, we'll probably have that done in the near future. And then other than that, I decided to continue on my Ace Attorney journey with Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, which I bought digitally in HD on 3DS.
HD on 3DS?
Yeah, it got re-released in 2017.
I don't think 3DS provides HD visuals.
Not HD, it's just better looking.
I think it said HD. I know what you mean. It looks pretty good, though. So I started playing that. I'm in the middle of the third case. The first case was really good. The second and third case were only okay. I like Apollo as a character. I was talking with this about Logan. He was rattling off some complaints that people have had about him in the past, that he's not unique enough or not interesting enough. But I think he's pretty standout-ish to Phoenix Wright. Although I know that people would probably have gotten attached to Phoenix Wright at that point and then had some reservations about it. I get it, but he's still a good character, so I'm enjoying it so far. I like the new character additions. It's set years after the end of the third game, so there's a lot of new stuff. There are some quality of life improvements that the trilogy had that aren't in this game, like investigations. Every time you investigated something, there would be a check mark over it, so you already looked at it.
Oh, that would
it doesn't have that.
Me.
I have a very hard time seeing what I haven't investigated.
Made it crystal clear that I am waiting for the the HD ports whenever they come along.
It is a bit of a pain.
I need that. I need that check mark.
Yeah, the check mark's great. So
in the originals, it doesn't even highlight stuff to look at.
Oh no!
You just have this blue cursor. It's the same no matter what you're over.
It's horrible. Like that in Apollo Justice. Yeah. So it doesn't highlight, but the examine button shows up when you're over something to look at. So that's been my indicator.
Yep.
It's nice that you at least have that.
Yes. So enjoying that so far. I think after this, I'll have 6 games left in the series. 3 sets of 2, the Miles Edgeworths, the Greats, and then the final 2 in the Ace Attorney mainline games. So I don't know how many of those I'll beat by the end. I don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon.
Keep chugging away.
Been enjoying that, and that's basically what I played this week.
All right. Well, there's no ode to this at this point because we're already done with that. So why don't we wrap things up? Any final thoughts before we are done for this week?
Sonic Frontiers, baby.
Ooh.
2022.
And Knuckles and Fall Guys.
Oh, yeah. But no new Fall Guys content for the next season.
Gosh, season 5 feels like it's been going on a while.
Forever.
Yeah, when did that come out?
I don't remember. I feel like a while ago, though.
Yeah, well, we took a decently sized break from Fall Guys there, so.
You guys both got enough crowns to get Nux as soon as he comes out?
He's kudos. He costs money.
Kudos. You have enough kudos.
He's 22,000 kudos, 11,000 for which is weirdly enough just the amount that I have.
Oh, perfect.
Fall Guys season 5.
Oh my god, is that right?
Came out on July 12th.
That can't be right.
And
no way.
It was 60 days in between all the other updates.
What?
Oh man.
Is that right?
August, September, October, November. 4 months.
End of July. Yeah, okay, a little later. July 20th. It was supposed to come
almost
out
been out for 4 months.
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months on the 20th.
We haven't even hit the mid-season update.
I'm not even level 50.
Is Fall Guys dying?
Oh no.
Oh god, dead
Wasn't
game.
it coming to other consoles? Or is it already there?
It was supposed to this year, and like on Nintendo.com, it still says 2021. But I don't think so. I think it's gonna miss.
We probably would have gotten a date if it was actually coming out this year by now.
I could see it being like, oh, and it's out tomorrow at any time, but I don't know, man.
Running out of time.
I haven't even hit the mid-season update. Oh wait, no, they did. Some Fruit. That was the mid-season.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. I just forgot. Okay. We've been kind of out of the game. We haven't been playing as much.
There's usually a timer that.
Yeah.
So we're just
no timer.
Days whenever we play Fall Guys.
No timer. It's just the same stuff. But Nux will be in there, so that's big.
Soon.
Big news.
Right?
Tomorrow.
Woo! All right.
So one person can be Sonic, one person can.
They're building out the crew.
Yeah. And there's supposed to be a Sonic crossover with Monster Hunter Rise but we haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, super weird.
Okay. Is that a thing that they would just say as a later today drop?
I don't know. I really don't. Probably. Like, within a week, I'd say, once they announce it, it'll be out. But
all right.
It's probably just some stupid quest.
What a horrible 30th anniversary for... Literally nothing happened.
Yeah, when they were like, we got all these announcements, and then there was like 2 toys or something.
That was last year. That was 2020. That wasn't even this year.
And the new game's not even coming out for another year.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't even have a name.
Oh,
rough.
Good old Sonic. Never ceases to disappoint, and also give us some great times.
Oh yeah.
All right. But that is going to do it for us in this week's episode of Oda Games. We're here on Thursdays or Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any other podcast streaming services that you may use. OdaGames.com has the audio version. YouTube at Oda Games has the video version. You can find us on Twitter at Oda Games. You can send an email to odagamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.